Platforms. I think this part's really important because this is the kind of one of the most scary and complex parts of this whole ecosystem, and it's a huge moving target. So if you had a client a year ago and they wanted an app, right? And the app made sense, for whatever purpose, branding, advertising, developing a game, whatever. Odds are pretty good you would have developed it for iPhone. Would you agree with that? Right? iPhone, 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 iPhone. That's all we heard. Clients banging us up, against the wall saying iPhone, 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 iPhone. And a year later now, it's a different story. It's actually this guy who's got a bigger piece of the pie or the chart than that guy. In a year, that's how quickly this stuff has changed. In a year, Android has now surpassed iPhone as the biggest platform, more users on Android devices than iPhone devices. And the expectation is, and that's through December 2010, I haven't seen all the stats for first quarter, but the expectation is Android is just going to explode continually. You can kind of see it growing out like that. That's exactly what's going to continue to happen. Eating into these guys, BlackBerry, so that guy's going to shrink. Symbian, Palm, kind of non-players, especially here in the US. Microsoft kind of holding their own a bit. Windows Mobile is an interesting platform, probably has some legs on it. Actually, there's the potential for Microsoft and Symbian to join forces. There's some word on the street about that, and a couple of announcements have been made. It's very possible that Symbian, which is Nokia is the biggest, worldwide, the biggest global manufacturer of cell phones. There's more Nokia devices in the world than all these other guys combined. But in the US, Nokia isn't really that much of a play here. But these guys probably globally are going to be where you're going to see the most growth and the most traction in coming years. Now today, when you think about app development, you think about what we need to do for clients, you got to think Android first, and maybe not iPhone first, although it does depend on your audience. Think about the growth statistics. So this was from Q4 09 to Q4 10, and just looking at the growth numbers. Again, Google just growing 615%. This is globally versus Apple 86%. So still, everyone's growing. Although in this case here, Microsoft had a bit of a dip, but you can see just the growth potential for Google and the Android platform is just really huge. So you want to think about that in terms of positioning and the types of devices. I don't think there's going to be room for another platform in coming years. I think, as far as I can see, at least in the next few years, that group that we saw up there is probably the group we'll stick with as an industry. Again, we might see Microsoft and Symbian do some things together. We might see Hewlett-Packard start to do something with the Palm platform, maybe over time. Maybe it goes away. But I think your big three are going to be iPhone, Android, and Microsoft, with BlackBerry still a little bit of a wild card. The one thing, real quick thing, and I'll get to you, that BlackBerry may do, there's a little bit of wind about this, that BlackBerry may continue to be BlackBerry, but from an app perspective, and these days, as you kind of read here, a lot of times it's all about the app, that BlackBerry may leverage the Android marketplace for its app infrastructure. So that if you build an app for Android, you can get that app distributed into the BlackBerry store, BlackBerry marketplace. They've experimented with that already with the new BlackBerry tablets, and I think they're trying to see how that goes and what the market acceptance is there. But that would give then BlackBerry users the security that you mentioned, the security and the lockdown, the corporate email stuff, but the ability to have a good, healthy app ecosystem. BlackBerry has something like 20,000 apps versus Android, I forget the numbers, like 400,000 apps, right? So if you're a BlackBerry user, you've got kind of limited choice. 20,000 isn't really a lot when you think about the number of apps.